What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and we got a completely off-the-chain show for you guys today. As a lot of reports have came out that Aaron Rodgers could be leaving the New York Jets, and could he be heading to the Minnesota Vikings? Wild show for you guys. But we'll also dive into a mailbag on the second half of today's show. But if you guys want to become a more informed Vikings fan, hit that subscribe button. I'm posting around 10 to 11 videos a week. So if you guys want to stay up to date around everything around your Minnesota Vikings, I got you covered here at Vikings Now by Chat Sports. So help us out. Hit that subscribe button right down below and help us reach 43,000 subscribers. That'd be awesome if we could hit that milestone before the Bears game this Sunday. So let's backtrack here. Why are we even talking about this? Because I guarantee you there's a lot of commenters saying, oh, Patrick Siepman is talking about some nonsense yet again. But let's set the scene. So Rich, a beat reporter for the New York Jets, tweeted this out, saying, with a totally new regime in 2025, it likely means Aaron Rodgers won't be back with the Jets. A new GM, a new head coach, will probably want their own QB. Rodgers has a good relationship with Joe Douglas, former GM of the Jets who just got fired. And last week, he advocated for Jeff Ulbrich, and it's hard to imagine him wanting to even be back. So then our own guy, Kevin Seifert of ESPN, give him a follow on Twitter. He's fantastic at what he does. But he quote tweeted that and said this: the Vikings have one QB under contract for 2025, and he has never played a down of regular season NFL football. And then Kevin had to go and say, it's happening. Obviously, he was kind of joking around that, hence the winky emoji right there. But Aaron Rodgers to the Vikes, let's break it down. So Rodgers this year definitely has taken a step back. One of his worst years as a pro in the NFL, as he is, closing in on his 40th year being alive, and completion percentage 63.4, yards 2,400, touchdown 17. Pick 7, QB rating 88.9, and Rodgers, he is just a sitting duck back there. He's got no more mobility. He still has a live arm. I mean, he still had a couple throws against the Vikings in London where I'm like, man, Aaron Rodgers still has it. But my take when I heard all this kind of reckless talk, reckless speculation, whatever you want to call it, the only way I consider this, the only way, is if J.J. McCarthy has another setback. Like, let's just say JJ is going through the rehab process. We get a notification like, oh, snap, JJ, he's going to miss the first 2 months of the season. Then maybe I would consider Rodgers because he is still a good quarterback. He's just nowhere near the man he once was. So only way I consider it is if JJ McCarthy has another step back. But how funny would this be? Like, come on. Like, you got to admit just a little bit, you Vikings fans. Just want to bring Rodgers in just to stick at the Packers fans. Like, that's honestly the biggest reason why I would be okay with this, is just because when we play the Packers twice next season, how great would it be if the Packers have to have another quarterback to, or another former Packers quarterback, give them the business. I mean, I still remember that Favre Rodgers game. I was only like 9 years old at the time, but I still remember watching that, just like loving every moment of it. So it would be cool to stick at the Packers fans, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Like, really, I don't have a good answer. I'm still probably going to say I'm passing on Rodgers, but again, like, it would be pretty fun. It would be pretty fun, but I don't have a good answer for you guys. Let your thoughts be known. Put on your GM hats for me. If you're crazy, let's just say you get that notification, you get that report, oh, snap, JJ is missing the first couple months of the season. I cannot believe I'm asking this. Do you want the Vikings to sign Aaron Rodgers next year? Just give me an S for sign or give me a P for pass. I am so curious to see what you guys are going to say. So coming up next, mailbag time, my favorite part of my week here at Chat Sports. But before we do so, got to tell you guys about a new sponsor we have, and a great sponsor, and that's Factor Meals. Now, if you guys head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 and use code VikingsChat50, you guys will get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Now, if you guys notice, the days are shorter. Shout out to daylight savings time, but your to-do list is not. So power through your busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals, from breakfast to dinner and anything in between. Factor is easy options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like your routine or enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. So don't let the shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat delivery service. So massive, massive shout out to Factor. I live a very busy lifestyle here, just covering the Minnesota Vikings, and sometimes I'm not in the best mood or don't have the energy to cook a full home-cooked meal, and Factor has gave me a great alternative option, and I really enjoy all their meals, like their sweet potato and chickpea curry is fantastic. They have a bunch of different ones, like their teriyaki chicken, their Louisiana shrimp. You guys got to check them out. So head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50. Use code VikingsChat50. Get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code VikingsChat50 at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Z Cool, what up, brother? Saying JJ works best when disrespected. What's your bold prediction for offense and defense this game? If you guys didn't see it, an NFL insider put out a report that apparently a lot of NFL defenses would rather face Justin Jefferson than Jamar Chase. I just think it's ludicrous. But what's your bold prediction for offense and defense? Offensively, Justin Jefferson goes for 150 and 2. He kind of has his iconic game so far this season, so that's my prediction for offense. Defensively, Vikings, they don't shut out the Bears, but they keep them out of the end zone for the entire game. I think this is a terrible matchup for Caleb Williams. I think Brian Flores, his style of defense, it just causes these QBs to process at a very quick and effective rate, and Caleb, I really think he struggles at that part of the game, so I don't think the Bears find the end zone unless it's like a deep shot to, Rome or DJ Moore. So those would be my two bold predictions there. EV, what up, Eve? Saying, should Minnesota hire Josh McDaniels, OC, and Teddy Bridgewater as DC? I'm going to say no to both of these. Teddy Bridgewater as defensive coordinator, that is interesting. So I'm going to say no on that and really big time no on Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator. I actually wonder, I don't know this, I'm pretty sure McDaniels and Kevin O'Connell overlapped when O'Connell was a QB in New England. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the case. But no for Josh McDaniels, and I love Teddy. Shout out to Teddy Bridgewater, one of my favorite quarterbacks ever to wear the purple and gold. But as defensive coordinator, I'm going to say no. One thing Vikings fans we can pray for every night is that Brian Flores is back as DC in Minnesota. Joey Tana saying, who will the Vikings pick up in free agency? Love this question. My #1 free agent kind of target for the Minnesota Vikings is DJ Reed. He's a fantastic cornerback for the New York Jets. I think he's better than Sauce Gardner. I just think since Sauce has a cooler name and he was a back-to-back All-Pro, people just view him as just a better cornerback. I just don't think that's the case. DJ Reed, no doubt, is my top free agent target for the Minnesota Vikings. Joey, shout out to you. But Patrick, beautiful name you have, saying, what do you think is the Vikes' biggest or weakest positional link? I'm going to probably still go interior offensive line. I think that's the easy answer there. Bradbury's just been okay. Ingram, he got benched last week against the Titans, so Reisner, he's all right. Brandell's all right. But, I would love for the Vikings to toss big money to the Chiefs' offensive guard. I think his name's Trey Smith. I would love for them to, target him in free agency. But a bold prediction for this offseason, the Vikings will toss big money with all their cap space they have at a corner and an interior offensive lineman. I really, really do believe that. But Patrick Monson, shout out to you for tuning in. $5 super chat coming in from my man Roger Bong saying, do you think we are better this year over what we can be next year? Believe. I don't. I think this year for the Minnesota Vikings is the base. This is going to be the standard. This is the first year kind of this post-Kirk Cousins, Danielle Hunter era for the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm going to say right here, what you're watching for this team this year is the base. I think it's only going to get better over the next 3 seasons. And I think Kwesi had in his mind when he took JJ, he had a little San Francisco 49ers-esque plan where he's like, I'm going to get a QB on a rookie deal. I'm going to get a loaded roster around him, and then our Super Bowl window is years 2 through 5 while JJ is still on his rookie contract. So, Roger, awesome question. Massive shout out to you. And then my good old friend, Harvey Buxton. Oh, Tex. I'm locked in today. What do you think of eating beaver? Harvey Buxton, I got my eyes peeled wide open today. You're not going to get me. I think you got producer Tex on that one for him to throw that up on the show. That's no worries. Harvey, I'm going to say no. I don't think eating beaver should be a replacement for Brian Flores, but this man Harvey Buxton, he's always lurking. So Harvey, shout out to you, man. But A.M. Rassman, I can't even focus now because I got Harvey on my mind. Not Tex. That's all good. I love that. We are definitely keeping that in. That is great TV right there. What do you think the Vikings have to do to win against the Bears? Get to 20 points. I think if the Vikings get to 20 offensively, we should be celebrating a fourth straight victory Monday here on the channel. I think defensively the Vikings will have their way. I am a little nervous. Sam Darnold going into Chicago, tough place to play. We saw Kirk Cousins really struggle there when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. We have never been able to run the ball in Chicago. Like, I remember Dalvin Cook, different defense for the Bears. That's when they had Akeem Hicks, Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack. They were unbelievable. But I remember Dalvin Cook would be heading into those games, averaging 100-plus yards. Then he would face the Bears, and it would just be, nothing. He would just get shut out that game. So I'm going to just say, what do the Vikings have to do to win against the Bears? Score 20 points. Zach Gaiman, 23, saying, should we re-sign Aaron Jones when his contract expires? Great question, Zach. I'm going to say no. I want the Vikings to draft a running back. I actually saw a mock draft put out there today. Gentry, the Boise State running back, superstar at that position. They had him going to the Vikings at pick 27. This is a very, very good running back class. I would honestly be okay with the Vikings taking one in the first round. If you guys remember when the Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs a couple years ago at pick 12, everybody was freaking out. Like, how do you take the second running back off the board at pick 12? Because Bijan went, in the top 10. And now we see how effective, Gibbs has been for the Lions. So I would honestly, Aaron Jones, we've seen the decline already, starting. He has a lengthy injury history. He's got a lot of touches, a lot of tread on those tires. So I'm going to say no to re-signing Aaron Jones. Go sign another running back. Like, I think we saw this past season, like, with Saquon going to Philly, Derrick Henry going to Baltimore. Like, you can just go pick up a free agent running back. Even if they're at the tail half of their career, they can still be very, very effective. And also, running backs are going to want to come and play for the Vikings. Like, you got Justin Jefferson on the outside. It's just going to be lighter boxes. So I'm going to say no on Aaron Jones. Last question coming in from EV saying, should the Minnesota Vikings pay Andrew Van Ginkel like what Nick Bosa got paid for the Niners? I'm going to say hell no on that one. Love Van Ginkel. I was just making a case he should be the decoy this season, but giving him the Nick Bosa contract, I'm going to say no on that. Like, Bosa's obviously a way better player than Van Ginkel. In terms of his impact on the game, he's still one of the best edge rushers in the National Football League. So no, I think that's my easy answer for that one. They should pay Andrew Van Ginkel, though. If you could somehow extend him, lower his cap hit for next season, you backload that contract, I'd be all in on it. But paying him Nick Bosa money, not okay with that. But if you guys made it to the end of today's mailbag and our little Aaron Rodgers segment, give me a SKOL down below in the comments section. Wild show today, I know, but just wanted to chop it up with you guys and talk about the possibility of Rodgers heading into the Minnesota Vikings. Also, I'm on Twitter. @PatSieps is the handle. Give me a follow over there. Thank you guys so much for watching today's show, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes.